Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a powerful question right now. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift? Not because you were the loudest, the flashiest, or trying the hardest, but because something about your presence alone demanded respect? That's not luck. That's power. Real, unshakable power. The kind that doesn't scream for attention, it commands it in silence. After 30 years of studying human behavior, peak performance, and what separates the respected from the forgotten, I've discovered there are specific cold behaviors that instantly elevate how people see you. These aren't warm, nice guy habits. These are sharp. These are deliberate. These are the traits of men and women who have decided they will no longer live at the mercy of other people's opinions, emotions, or approval. Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 cold behaviors that instantly command respect. If you're ready to stop chasing validation and start becoming the kind of person others naturally respect, lean in and listen carefully. Let's begin. The ice-cold pause. This is one of the most powerful cold behaviors you can install in your life right now. Most people are slaves to reaction. The second someone criticizes them, challenges them, or tries to provoke them, they jump in immediately. They defend, they explain, they argue, they fill every single gap with words because silence makes them uncomfortable. But the moment you master the ice-cold pause, everything changes. You step into a completely different level of power and respect. Imagine this. Someone throws a sharp comment at you in a meeting. Instead of firing back instantly like everyone else, you pause. You don't look away. You don't smile nervously. You simply stop. That deliberate silence creates massive tension in the other person. In that space, their own uncertainty grows. They start wondering what you're thinking. They begin to question themselves. That single pause communicates strength louder than any comeback ever could. It says, I am not controlled by your words. I am in control of myself. This cold pause is not emptiness. It is presence. It is deliberate. When you pause, you stay calm, you breathe, and you give yourself the power of choice. Most people react from emotion. You respond from power. You choose when and how to speak, or if you speak at all. This behavior instantly separates you from the crowd because 99% of people cannot handle silence. They fear it. They rush to fill it. But when you own the pause, you own the room. Practice this daily. When your boss criticizes your work, pause. When a friend makes a disrespectful joke, pause. When a negotiation gets tense, pause. Let the silence work for you. In sales conversations, after you make an offer, pause. Don't rush to justify the price. Let them feel the weight of it. In personal relationships, when emotions run high, that ice-cold pause prevents you from saying things you'll regret and forces the other person to reveal more than they intended. The pause builds anticipation. It builds authority. It forces people to respect your composure because they realize you are not easily triggered. You are not desperate for their approval. You are grounded. You are solid. That calm, icy pause tells the world you operate from a place of inner strength that cannot be shaken by external pressure. People feel this energy immediately. They may not admit it, but they respect you more because you refuse to play their reactive game. Master this one behavior and watch how conversations shift in your favor. People start speaking more carefully around you. They measure their words. They treat you differently because they sense you are operating at a higher level. The ice-cold pause is not arrogance. It is discipline. It is control. It is the mark of someone who has decided they will no longer be pulled into chaos by anyone. The unbreakable eye contact. This cold behavior changes how people perceive you instantly. Most individuals have weak, shifting eyes. They look away quickly. They blink too much. They seek approval with their gaze. Their eyes are nervous, distracted, or pleading. But when you develop unbreakable eye contact, you project pure confidence and command instant respect without saying a single word. Look directly into their eyes, not aggressively staring them down, but with calm, steady certainty. Hold it. When most people would break the gaze and look away, you stay locked in 1 second longer. That extra second is where power is transferred. It tells the other person, I see you clearly. I am not intimidated. I don't need your validation. This creates an almost magnetic effect. People feel your presence deeply. They sense your confidence at a subconscious level. In business, unbreakable eye contact closes deals. When you're pitching an idea, negotiating terms, or addressing your team, holding strong eye contact builds trust faster than any fancy words. It shows you believe in what you're saying. In social situations, it makes you memorable. People walk away thinking that person has something special. They're different. In difficult conversations, steady eye contact keeps you in control. Even if the other person gets emotional, your calm, unbroken gaze forces them to compose themselves. This is cold because it's disciplined. You're not looking for connection or approval. You're simply being fully present and unshakable. Practice it everywhere. With the cashier, with your colleagues, with strangers on the street. Hold the gaze comfortably. Train yourself to become completely at ease with eye contact. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the more power you radiate. Unbreakable eye contact communicates strength, clarity, and self-worth. It silently tells people that you are someone to be taken seriously. Weak eye contact makes you forgettable. Strong, cold eye contact makes you unforgettable. It commands respect because it shows you are comfortable in your own skin. You don't shrink, you don't hide, you own the moment. Together, the ice-cold pause and unbreakable eye contact create an aura most people can only admire from a distance. They position you as someone who moves through life with deliberate power and unshakable confidence. The unapologetic no. This cold behavior is pure power in its simplest form. Most people are terrified of saying no. They soften it, they explain it, they apologize for it, and they wrap it in layers of excuses just to avoid disappointing someone. The result? They lose respect, they lose time, and they lose control of their own life. But when you master the unapologetic no, you instantly reclaim your power and command respect from everyone around you. Say it clean, say it direct, say it without emotion. No, I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. No long stories, no justifications, no I'm sorry, but the moment you stop explaining yourself, people feel the boundary like a steel wall. They may push back at first, but deep down they respect you for it. Why? Because a person who can say no without apology demonstrates they value their own time, energy, and standards more than they fear other people's disappointment. Think about it. Every time you say yes when you really want to say no, you betray yourself. You dilute your focus. You let others dictate your schedule and your future. The unapologetic no changes that forever. In business, it protects your most valuable asset, your time. When someone asks for a meeting you don't want, you say, no, that doesn't align with my priorities right now. In your personal life, when invitations drain you, you respond with calm finality. No need to make up stories. The cleaner the no, the stronger the respect. This behavior trains people how to treat you. Every unapologetic no teaches the world that your boundaries are real. You become known as someone who cannot be pressured, guilt-tripped, or manipulated. That reputation alone commands massive respect. People start valuing your yes because they know it actually means something. They respect your decisions because they see you live by your own code, not by the approval of others. Practice this relentlessly. Start small. Say no to the little requests that waste your energy. Feel the temporary discomfort and push through it. The discomfort fades fast, but the power you gain lasts forever. The unapologetic no is cold because it's final. There's no negotiation in your tone. There's no guilt, just clarity. And clarity is rare in a world full of people pleasers. That rarity makes you stand out immediately as a leader, as someone with backbone, as someone who cannot be controlled. Emotional detachment from outcomes. This is where true inner strength reveals itself. Most people tie their entire emotional state to results. They give their best only if they're sure they'll win. They feel amazing when people praise them and devastated when they face rejection. Their mood, confidence, and self-worth swing like a pendulum based on how others respond. But the person who commands respect operates completely differently. They give everything, then detach. You show up fully, you prepare intensely, you deliver with power and passion. And once it's done, you release. You don't chase approval. You don't obsess over whether they said yes or no. You don't let the outcome decide how you feel about yourself. This emotional detachment is cold, disciplined, and incredibly attractive. It shows you're playing the game at a higher level, not for validation, but for the sake of excellence itself. In sales, you make the offer with total conviction, then you let go. If they buy, great. If they don't, you move on without carrying the weight. In relationships, you give your best self without clinging to whether they stay or leave. In career moves, you take bold action knowing that even if one door closes, your worth remains untouched. This detachment doesn't make you cold-hearted, it makes you unstoppable. Because you're no longer at the mercy of external results. People sense this quality in you instantly. They feel your quiet confidence. They notice you're not desperate, not needy, not emotionally dependent on their response. That freedom is magnetic. It commands respect because it signals deep self-worth. You become the kind of person others want to follow and do business with because they trust that you're solid no matter what happens. Mastering emotional attachment requires daily practice. After every important conversation, meeting, or presentation, consciously release the outcome. Tell yourself, I did my part, the rest is not mine to carry. This habit builds unbreakable inner strength. You start operating from abundance instead of scarcity. You take more risks because your emotional state no longer depends on winning every single time. When you combine the unapologetic no with emotional attachment from outcomes, you create an incredibly powerful presence. You protect your time fiercely while remaining emotionally free. You give generously, but never from a place of neediness. This combination turns you into someone who moves through life with calm authority. People respect you, not because you try to impress them, but because you are no longer controlled by them. The strategic withdrawal. This cold behavior is one of the ultimate demonstrations of self-mastery and personal power. While most people stay stuck far too long in situations that no longer serve them, the individual commands respect knows exactly when to walk away. They do it with strength, clarity, and zero drama. Strategic withdrawal is not quitting. It is not weakness. It is a deliberate, powerful choice to protect your standards, your energy, and your future. You walk away from the toxic conversation that's going nowhere. You exit the negotiation when the deal violates your values. You leave the relationship that constantly drains your spirit. You remove yourself from environments, projects, or people that pull you backward instead of propelling you forward. Most people fear this move because they worry about what others will think. They stay out of guilt, obligation, or the desperate need to be liked. But every extra minute you remain where you don't belong costs you respect, both from others and from yourself. When you execute a strategic withdrawal cleanly, something powerful happens. You send an unmistakable message. I know my worth, I will not settle, my peace and my standards are non-negotiable. People feel this. Even those you walk away from often end up respecting you more later because they recognize you have backbone. You refuse to beg, chase, or compromise your dignity just to stay comfortable. In business, walking away from a bad partnership or an unprofitable client positions you as someone who cannot be taken advantage of. In your career, leaving a dead-end job with your head held high opens space for better opportunities to enter your life. Strategic withdrawal requires courage and clarity. You must first be honest with yourself about what is truly serving you and what is slowly destroying you. Many people stay in toxic situations for years because they convince themselves things might improve. But the cold truth is this: every day you tolerate less than you deserve, you teach others that your boundaries are flexible. The moment you withdraw strategically, you reset the standard. You reclaim control over your time, your emotions, and your direction. Think of high-level negotiations. The strongest players are always willing to walk away. That willingness gives them leverage. The same principle applies to life. When you show you are prepared to leave, people suddenly value your presence more. They treat you with greater respect because they understand you are not desperate to stay. You become someone who chooses quality over quantity in every area. Relationships, opportunities, commitments. This selective nature is rare, and rarity creates respect. Practice strategic withdrawal in small situations first so it becomes natural in big ones. Leave the meeting that has turned into a pointless argument. Politely exit a social gathering that feels negative and draining. Decline to continue a project that no longer aligns with your vision. Do it calmly, without burning bridges unnecessarily, but with absolute finality in your decision. No long explanations, no emotional outbursts, just clear, composed action. Walk away with dignity intact and your power multiplied. This behavior builds an aura of strength around you. People start to see you as someone who lives by high standards. They respect your decisions because they sense you are guided by purpose rather than fear. You stop wasting precious years in situations that diminish you. Instead, you create room for growth, new connections, and better possibilities. Strategic withdrawal is cold because it prioritizes your long-term vision over short-term comfort. It shows emotional maturity and self-respect at the highest level. Every time you withdraw strategically, you reinforce your own identity as a powerful individual who refuses to be controlled by circumstances or people. You preserve your energy for what truly matters. You maintain your focus. You protect your future self. This single behavior separates those who live reactively, hoping things will get better, from those who actively design their life by choosing what stays and what must go. Mastering strategic withdrawal transforms how the world interacts with you. Doors that once felt stuck suddenly open because you stopped forcing yourself through the wrong ones. Respect flows toward those who demonstrate they value themselves enough to choose wisely and leave decisively. This cold behavior is not about isolation, it is about elevation. It is about moving with intention and refusing to dilute your greatness by staying where you no longer belong. These 5 cold behaviors, the ice-cold pause, unbreakable eye contact, the unapologetic no, emotional detachment from outcomes, and strategic withdrawal, are not just tactics, they are a complete shift in identity. When you install them, you stop seeking respect and you start radiating it. You move through life with calm power, unbreakable boundaries, and total self-command. People feel it. They see it in your eyes, hear it in your silence, and respect it in your decisions. This is how ordinary people transform into unforgettable forces, not by being louder, but by becoming colder in the right moments. You now have the exact tools. The only question left is, will you use them? If these 5 cold behaviors hit you hard and you want more powerful content that actually transforms your life, then hit that subscribe button right now and join the Tony Robbins Track family. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next level. Drop a comment below and write, "I choose respect." Let me know which of these 5 behaviors you're going to master first. I read every single comment. You were born for more. Now go out there and claim it. I'll see you in the next one. Track.